Decree and dream away the full cellular ascension of my being, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual in this now, with the full support of God, Goddess, the Ascended Master Realm, to include our Ascended Master Self, Father Saint Germain, Sonanda, the Holy Mother Mary, Kuan Yin, Goddess of Mercy, Archangel Michael and the legions, Ashtar and the entire command, Babaji, Raphael, Gabriel, Plan of the trumpet angels, ritual and tribal shaman, goddesses of fortune, angels of light, Elohim, clan of the serpents, Shiva, all Christ frequencies, all animal totems, elementals of fire, air, water, and earth, all divine beings of light, love, and ascension, named and unnamed, cells within my being who are your counterparts with the unified power of the One. I decree my highest good always operating in this now. I decree grace and mercy always operating in this now. I invoke, decree, and dream awake the full truth and reality of ascension in this now. I invoke and dream awake with every breath that I breathe the violet fire transmuting my whole being. I invoke and dream awake the full current of ascension in every cell of my being. I am ascended. I invoke and dream awake expanded God consciousness fully realized in me as unlimited abundance fulfilling my every need and desire. I invoke and dream awake the ending of procrastination, tiredness, blockages, obstacles, and unhealthy belief systems. I decree immediate abundance in my life. I invoke and dream awake my liberation from all karmic debt. I am infinite opulence. I invoke and dream awake my personal empowerment in every instant that anyone is impacted by my being and creations. I invoke and dream awake the infinite empowerment of my sexual, spiritual, mental, emotional, physical, and financial relationship with life. I invoke and dream awake sacred sexuality, erotic innocence, and always express the sacredness of sexual force for pleasure, creativity, and healing. I invoke and dream awake world universal healing from all sexual woundedness and shame. I invoke and dream awake worldwide release of all manipulating forces and beings who would control humanity past, present, and future. I invoke the angels and ascended masters to realign and heal all misused energy, to include the full restructuring of our DNA. I invoke and dream awake the transmutation of all negative and judgmental projections. I invoke and dream awake my constant ability to be centered and balanced in my psychic perceptions and empathic nature. All overwhelming psychic energies are released by me automatically, easily, effortlessly. I am empowered by everything. In dream awake my lucid dream, in each night I sleep in total remembering when I awake. I invoke and dream awake my infinite harmony with God, Goddess I am. I invoke and dream awake the full expression of my miraculous healing power. My life is a continuous stream of miracles. I invoke and dream awake my infinite ability and willingness to receive all life's blessings. I invoke and dream awake a constant attitude of gratitude for my whole life, all my accomplishments and blessings, including the same for the universe at large. I invoke and dream awake the full blessings of God, Goddess, the ascended masters, angels, guides, and beings of light to bless this earth. I invoke and dream awake all my decrees, invocations, and prayers I have released to the universe and open myself to God's response, support, and love in my highest good. I invoke and dream awake the release of all past, present, and future lifetimes of decrees and vows which would bind me to limitation, lack, density, and anything not of ascension in this now. I invoke and dream awake the full reclaiming of my eternal self as powerful, loving, and fully aligned in abundant God consciousness. I invoke and dream awake the total dissolving of all manipulating forces which would bind this earth plane in fear. I invoke and dream awake the influence of the ascended master realm and angels to intercede and raise the vibrations higher to bring darkness into the light, raising the frequency of love and God consciousness on planet earth in this now. I invoke and dream awake the ascension of planet earth in this now. One moment. Blessed be, beloveds. I am Astarius Miraculi, and I love you so much. I come forward to expand your mind and quicken your spirit, bringing the message of Femifestation and your emotional belongings. It is so important to understand the different stages of creation. We are such powerful creators because we are from the bosom of the divine. We are the stuff that God, Goddess Absolute is made of. Even though we sometimes wallow in human forgetfulness, it's time to come to the eternal remembrance of who and what we really are. And to recognize that there are emotional belongings that precede material belongings. There are emotional and energetic femifestations that precede the material and crystallized manifestations. Manifestation is the second stage of creation. That which comes into manifestation is not something that just suddenly comes into being as it is manifest. It comes into that particular stage of its beingness, which is the second stage of its beingness, which is why I say that manifestation is the second coming of reality, as femifestation is the first coming of reality. And even once we manifest something, we must all over again femifest it, even though the femifestation precedes it. Femifestation is both before and after manifestation, because femifestation is the stuff that eternity is made of. Femifestation relates to the infinite realm of the eternal void, which is the womb of creation, out of which all possibilities are birthed. And so it is understood that there are many human challenges that exist at this time. We just had on the 3rd of November a solar eclipse. And in the solar eclipse in the sign of Scorpio, and in the solar eclipse energy, we always have some shadows that we have to look at. And the energy of Scorpio is related to all of the materiality that exists in the whole of the universe that is not ours individually. Like universal belongings are associated with Scorpio, as the opposite of Scorpio, which is Taurus, is related to personal belongings. And so that which we own on a universal scale is what is up for us to be looking at right now. But we have to look at the shadows that have been a blockage to that particular reality. You know, there may be some emotional difficulty, some emotional challenges, which is why we want to, by virtue of the femifestation, engage in the most exalted feelings that we could possibly engage in. When I say own your emotional belongings, own your bliss, own your love, own your peace, own your joy, own your gratitude. And all these are things that you simply embrace by virtue of your choosing. There is no such thing as external manifestations being that which produces the good feelings, the joy that we feel, the bliss that we feel, the gratitude that we feel. We feel that by virtue of something that is very inward. It relates to Femifestation, that choice of an absolute something that exists way down deep in the core of our being. We don't have to have something to come into manifest being in order to be in the resonance of joy. For it is the resonance of joy and the resonance of bliss and the resonance of peace that is that which we just choose, because these are wonderful resonances of our emotional being that are worthy of being chosen to be experienced by us. And as we accelerate in our relationship with this bliss that is already eternally inside of us, and that bliss begins to grow and grow and grow, there is this life expand of bliss. Bliss doesn't have a lifespan that ends, such as in the human experience. In the human experience, physically, we have a lifespan, which is what manifestation is all about. Forms come and forms go. Because in the physical experience, we have a lifespan, a duration of physical experience, a point at which we lay the body down, and then that lifespan is over. But the bliss that we feel is about the life expand. There is the life expand of bliss and the life expand of joy and the life expand of gratitude and the life expand of God, Goddess Absolute that dwells within our soul, that represents the reality of our true beingness. Each and every one of us in our individual expression of soulhood is in actuality the microcosmic container of God, Goddess Absolute, which is the macrocosmic all that is. And it's time to remember who we are, to remember where we're from, to remember what we're for, to remember where we're bound, and to remember we're divine, and to know that what was lost we have now found. We remember, and we are walking on wings, riding the bliss ascension brings. Own your emotional belongings. Own your emotional belongings. Anything that you want, anything that we want, we are pregnant with it already. We are pregnant with every wonderful thing that will ever come about for us. It's an impregnation within the womb of our soul, in the womb of our mind. Femifestation, the first coming of reality, the first stage of creation. Celebrate the realities of creation that you have brought forth. When you say with your affirmations, let there be love, or let there be abundance, or let there be this wonderful whatever it is in my life, the moment you say that, the moment you put forth the let there be, that creation is reality. By virtue of the fact that you are God, Goddess Almighty, by microcosmic extension. And so, yes, there'll be a period of gestation. Just as when a woman is pregnant with child, she has a period of gestation. Usually it's 9 months, but some mothers take even longer. And so here's a mother who is now 10 months, and she hasn't had the baby yet. She's still pregnant with the baby. Is the life that she carries any less valuable because she's a little bit longer in her gestation? And so even when you are a little bit longer in your gestation, when you wanted that manifestation to come about a lot sooner and it's not come about yet, it doesn't mean that it's missing. It doesn't mean that it's absent. It just means that your period of gestation is a little bit longer. It's all divine. It's all good. It's all wonderful. And so all is well in the kingdom of your soul. Own your emotional belongings. Don't rent with option to buy. Own your emotional belongings. Own your emotional creations. Everything is created at the emotional and energetic level first. We have so many miracles that are sleeping in the void. And as we celebrate and honor them, they will come leaping from the void and into a state of manifestation, the second stage of creation, the second coming of our reality. I am Miraculi. I love you so much, and I champion you, and we are going home. And in greater reality, we are home. We are just in the remembering of that truth. So you heard several musical selections in the background, and they are all my creations. Something from spirit rap, something from DNA ascension, something from walking on wings, and something from Reiki temple chants. My website is astarius.com. ASTARIUS.com. I have a number of videos, as many of you already know. I do have many subscribers, so partake of all of them. Watch this one many times, and I'd like for you to partner with me in something, and that is, if you love this video, make a vow and an agreement with me to share it with at least 10 people, and let's spread this message. My musical selections and CDs are also available on iTunes as well as Amazon. Again, my website is astarius.com, and you can also hear sound clips and all of that on all of the selections as well as find out how you can access me personally if you'd like to experience personal consultations in astrology and Reiki training and sound healing with didgeridoo and vocal harmonics. Femifestation, the first coming of reality, the first stage of creation. Femifest, Femifest, Femifest. Namaste.